Love doesn't happen by accident. It's constructed, calculated. A sequence of invisible triggers that most people stumble through blindly. But what if you could see the blueprint? What if what we call falling in love is just psychology dressed up as poetry? 3 steps, that's all it takes. No magic, no fate. Just human wiring waiting to be activated. Step 1. The mirror. You don't make someone fall in love with you by being impressive. You make them fall in love with themselves when they're around you. That's the secret nobody tells you. People are drawn to those who reflect their best version, who make them feel like the person they've always wanted to be is finally visible. It starts with attention. Real attention. Not the kind where you're half listening while scrolling through your phone. The kind where you notice the pause before they speak, the way their voice changes when they talk about something that matters to them. You become a witness to their inner world, and that's rare. Most people spend their entire lives feeling unseen, speaking into a void that never echoes back. When you mirror someone accurately, and you see past their performance and acknowledge the truth underneath, something shifts. They begin to associate you with clarity, with understanding, with that addictive feeling of being truly known. But here's where most people fail. They think this means agreeing with everything, becoming a yes man who validates every thought. Wrong. The mirror must be honest. You challenge them, but from a place of genuine interest. You push back because you see their potential, not because you're trying to win an argument. That difference is everything. Was it manipulation, or was it connection? The line blurs when both people feel it. They start to wonder, how does this person see me so clearly, and more dangerously? What would I be without them? Step 2. The gap. Now you create distance, not absence, not cruelty. Just enough space for them to notice how it feels when you're not there. Because presence only becomes valuable when absence makes it scarce. This is where most people panic. They think more contact means more connection. They text constantly. They're always available. They fill every silence with words. But love needs room to breathe. It needs space to become a hunger instead of a habit. You become unpredictable. Not in a chaotic way, but in a way that keeps them slightly off balance. Sometimes you're deeply engaged, other times you're distracted by your own life. Your own dreams, your own world, the world that existed before them and will continue without them. This isn't a game, it's reality. You're showing them that you're not desperate, that you have a center of gravity that's independent of their attention. The gap does something psychological. It triggers what researchers call intermittent reinforcement, the same mechanism that makes gambling addictive. Consistent rewards become boring. Variable rewards become obsession. When they can't predict when they'll feel that connection again, their brain starts chasing it. They begin thinking about you when you're not there. They wonder what you're doing, who you're with, whether you're thinking of them. But was it cruel? Or was it honest? Can love exist without a little longing? The gap also gives them time to fill in the blanks. Human imagination is always more generous than reality. In your absence, they start constructing a version of you that's slightly better than the truth. They remember the best moments, forget the awkward ones, and suddenly you're not just a person anymore. You're an idea, a feeling they want to return to. You don't suffocate them with neediness. You offer them a choice. And paradoxically, the choice makes them choose you more strongly. Step 3. The glimpse. Now you let them see your wounds. Not all of them. Not the messy, unprocessed chaos that would overwhelm anyone, but a carefully chosen vulnerability, a crack in the armor that shows you're human, that you've suffered, that you understand what it means to be broken and keep going anyway. This is the step most people never reach. They stay in performance mode forever, afraid that showing weakness will shatter the illusion. But the illusion was never going to hold anyway. Perfect people aren't lovable. They're intimidating, distant, impossible to connect with. When you reveal a scar, When you tell them about the time you failed spectacularly, or about the fear that still keeps you up at night, something shifts in their perception. Suddenly, you're not a fantasy anymore. You're real. And if you can be real and still be valuable, maybe they can be too. The glimpse creates intimacy. True intimacy. Not the physical kind, though that often follows. The psychological kind, where two people see each other's humanity and don't look away. Where imperfection becomes the basis for connection instead of the reason to leave. But here's the dangerous part. The glimpse must be genuine. If they sense you're performing vulnerability, if it feels calculated or rehearsed, the whole structure collapses. You can't fake this step. You can only prepare for it by doing your own work, by processing your wounds enough that you can share them without just dumping them on someone. Did they fall in love with you, or with the courage it took to be honest? Both. Always both. The trap we set for ourselves, these 3 steps work. They work almost too well. Because once you understand the mechanics of love, you realize how fragile it all is. How much of it is timing and chemistry and 2 people choosing, again and again, to stay vulnerable with each other. And maybe that's the real question we should be asking. Not how do I make someone fall in love, but what do we do with this power once we have it? 'Cause love, whether constructed or accidental, comes with responsibility. The person who falls is entrusting you with their inner world. They're handing you the blueprint to hurt them, hoping you won't. Maybe the real genius isn't in making someone fall. It's in catching them. In being worthy of the trust they place in you when they choose to love you back. The mirror, the gap, the glimpse. 3 steps to begin something. A lifetime to sustain it.